Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jonna and I run a plant shop from home called Plants with Benefits. In today's video, I want to take you along with a lot of different kind of chores. As you can see, there are a lot of set plants here on the table. I either have to cut them back or throw them out. I also have quite some moss pools that need to be filled with moss and some repottings to be done. And I might propagate here and there. This will probably be a long video, so I'm gonna try to get the cozy vibes in. Grab your favorite snack and your favorite beverage and either chill and relax, sit down, or go and do some plant chores yourself. I will start with creating some workspace for myself and getting my repotting mat, so I'm not gonna make that a huge of a mess. Fingers crossed, I doubt it's gonna work, but who knows? Okay, I got my repotting mat on the table. I have a bin for all the trash or old leaves, and I will just randomly start. I see this Musa Florida is crisping up a little bit. I did some off-camera repotting, and its oldest leaf is curling up, which is fine. I'm just gonna snip it so it looks a little bit more pretty. I have a lot of plants in my personal collection that are not really thriving. And, you know, it's a part of winter. It's really normal, but it's still kind of sad to see. Woo! Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is a very tiny Alocasia Gaggiana albo, if I remember correctly. This has been severely underwatered, and you can definitely tell by the leaves that are drooping. I will cut off the dead leaves and I will take it out of the pot to see how the roots are. Like this. Oh, it does have some dry rot on the roots, but I do see healthy roots, so that's good. I hope I can show you. You're quite far away from me, but it's pretty good. I will put this aside for a second, and then if there's any other repotting to be done, I will do that all together. So I will save this for later. Oh, as you can see, this one is completely dead. It's a syngonium that I put on my fridge, and I am not used to have any plant on my fridge, so it completely died on me. So this is a no-brainer for me. I'm not even gonna try to save it. Like, everything is very mush. It's very dead, it's very crispy. I'm just gonna remove it from the pots. I am curious though. Yeah, all the roots are like sticks. This is completely on me. I'm kind of sad. It was a nice syngonium. It was a Orm Nachpem variegated, which is a pink syngonium. They can be very pretty. And I wouldn't say that the care is actually that difficult at all. It's just living on my fridge. Out of the eye, out of the mind for me. I'm gonna see if I can reuse this pot, because this Maranta, she's a sad lady. I think it's a Maranta, not silver, a lemon lime. I've had this living in Pawn before, and then I sent it to my friend because of our move. It did pretty okay in her conditions, but once it came back, it just crisped up time after time. I do think I will be able to revive it, especially when the warmer temperatures are coming back. So I'm just gonna cut back the stems and see how it does. I am not a huge Maranta expert at all. But I will probably, once it's growing a little bit again, I will probably put it in Pawn because it did, like I said, it did pretty well. The stems look still kind of plump, so I do expect new growth from there. And then there's also some teeny tiny, I really hope you can see it, some new sprouts of leaves. So I do have some hope for this plant. I can see some healthy roots. It might be in a too big of a pot, but I am afraid that if I'm gonna repot it, it's gonna get more shock, and I do not want that. No, I think we should be fine like this. So it's gonna look worse before it looks better, maybe, hopefully with this one. I'm just gonna keep an eye out, and if she's declining, then I might have to let her go, but I have hope. I have high hopes. Then there is this very sad alocasia, and I am actually kind of upset I let this happen. This has been one of my first tissue cultured black velvet pink variegated alocasia, and even though it reversed on me, I was very excited to see if I could grow some corms with variegation from it, but I don't know, I think it's in too small of a pot, and then it dried up super fast. I couldn't keep up with it, and I just saw it suffering, and I decided to not do anything about it. So I'm gonna cut back the foliage. I'm gonna check out the roots. It is growing in Pawn, and I do see some corms, or what used to be corms, sticking out. So maybe there is some corms that we can save. But from what it looks like, I might have to just throw it out completely. This plant, there's 3 plants in here. This plant is just loose in the pot. Its roots, oh look, a corm. Can you see it sticking out? The roots are completely gone. I could potentially save it by checking the stem. So what I will do is I will cut at the top of the bulb. The center of the bulb is very juicy, so I do think there is hope for this one. What I will probably have to do is put it in a high humidity dome. I'm just gonna scrape some of the hard material from the bulb. I've experienced that if you scrape the wooden parts of the corm with your nail or anything else, be gentle though. But if you do that, the roots are growing much faster than when you don't. So yeah, what can I say about this? It's just dry, dusty and dry. Then the other 2 plants, I see another very tiny corm. It's very, very tiny. But same with the roots, they're super dry. I don't know if I can be bothered saving this. I think the same will happen again. It will grow on me and then it will die because I neglect it. But I want to be mindful, and I will try to save this plant. I might have to run upstairs for a humidity dome. I honestly did not expect the stems to be probably salvageable. This is another one. And then we have one more. This is the biggest of them all. It's growing a lot of corms, but these are so small that I will not even try to save these. I will just go straight to the stem, remove all the dead roots. I'm gonna cut off the foliage and then put it in. I do have some stratum left, I just don't know where. I actually might just put it in the same pot. For the corm, for the people that have never seen a corm before, I will explain how it works. So this is a corm. This is its top and this is its tail. The tail grows out of the plant, like the mother plant, and then it forms a bulb. This bulb will eventually sprout leaves, and from the sides it will push out roots. From then on you have a new plant, and from my knowledge all alocasia reproduce like this, so it's very cool. You can also see there is this brown sheet around it. This is called, I don't know, alocasia skin. I don't know actually, but this is what I was talking about earlier. If you remove this part, you don't have to do it, but if you do it, the roots will grow faster because they do not have to penetrate the wooden stuff. You can do it very gently with your fingernail or with a spoon, but be gentle. You can remove the tail, I always do. I just snip it off like this, but you also do not have to do that. So I'm just gently gonna peel that wooden layer off the skin. Sometimes I am a little bit too harsh with my nail and I'm actually digging into the corm. That is not what you want. You want to see juicy, plump, and usually it's green, the corm, like whitish green. That is the color that you want to see. This is now my peeled corm. It's green. This is the bottom where the offshoot came from, and then this tiny little dot is the top. Sometimes it's very hard to say what's the top and what's the bottom. Then you can just plant it sideways because the foliage will always grow towards the light. So if you put it on its side, it will sprout upwards. Yeah. And I'm adding a little bit of pon. I'm gonna put in the stumps. Wait, I'm gonna do a little bit more. I'm gonna put in the stumps. Add a little bit more pon. Only as much that you can barely see the stumps getting out of its substrate. And then I will put in the corm, bottom first. And then spread a little bit more pon around it. Ideally, you want the top of the corm being out a little bit with its head, so the foliage, the first foliage, does not have to push through the layer of pon or other substrate. And this is just a matter of time now. I will put this aside for a watering. And then there is another bin of pure chaos. If you are sensitive to throwing out plants, please skip ahead because I will throw 90% of these plants. I can't be bothered. I've really tried to keep up with them. I can't. It's tissue cultured, Gloria says. I just can't. So the ones that look really, really bad, for example, like this one, yes, I can solve them. No, I'm not going to. I don't have the mental energy for this right now. So I am just tossing them in the bin. Usually I'm also reusing the pots, but these tiny pots are a pain in my bum to clean. So I will just recycle them in plastic. Then over here we have a queen anthurium. As you can see, she's not really doing anything. She's been like this for a year. So I'm gonna part ways with it. I'm gonna toss it out, and the pot is so covered in algae and the top is broken. I'm gonna toss it away as well. There's a lot of root rot going on, probably because I underwatered it, overwatered it, all at the same time. The same with this one. This is a cutting of the Villanoarum. It's very tiny, it looks very cute, but it's been like this for a year. I think up to a year. This makes me a little bit sad because yes, I can probably save it. I just don't really want to. So I'm gonna toss it out. Oh, the roots are so... There are many roots here. Okay, I don't want to look at it, I'm sorry. Then there is actually one plant that looks pretty okay, and I think I will try to save this one. I will take it out of the substrate. It's potted in pond, but the pond is covered in algae. So I do want to remove it and put some new pond in a pot. I actually might change this plant with my queen that's on the shelf right there, because that queen is not doing well. And I think this one has a lot of potential because it has grown with a lot of neglect. So I'm gonna see what the roots look like. It has pretty good roots as well. Some of them are dried up. You can immediately feel it when a root is flat, like when you touch it and it's getting flat. It's basically as good as dead, so you can remove it. I would highly recommend removing roots like that because they can eventually rot. Rot spreads like the plague. It's going super fast and it can be really damaging for your plant. So I would highly advise to remove any of the pieces of the roots or an entire root if possible. Sometimes it's just the tips of the root, sometimes it's the entire root. Just do what is necessary and maybe even a little bit more. Better safe than sorry. Okay, this is the product we're ending up with. And I'm actually thinking I might put this in a planter that we 3D printed. It is a self-watering system. We have to optimize it. Optimize. I don't know the word. Because we have this water indicator that's not really going up when the water is in there. So it's a little bit weird, but the planter itself works. This is a self-watering pot I was talking about. We 3D printed. It is made of 3 separate pieces. So we have this part, we have the indicator, and then we have this part. This is the outer pot, and it has some, how you say this, like design inside, so you can easily slide in the inner pot. The inner pot has a foot with drainage slits, so it can suck up the water through there. And it also has aeration holes. Then finally you have this piece, and this is the water indicator. Like I said, it doesn't really work the way it should because it's supposed to be in here. Then you put the pot over it and it should go up like any other self-watering pot. It's just probably too heavy somehow. So we will have to try to work our way around this issue. But I will give this pot a try to see how it works. Even if the indicator doesn't really work, the indicator is very easy to replace. It's kind of a fast print as well. And the diameter is about 8 centimeters long or wide. Okay, I'm going to fill it up with pond. So I'm taking out the inner pot. And I'm gonna fill it a little bit, like I would say a third, with pon. There we go. Then I'm gonna put in the plant and I'm gonna spread out the roots. I'm gonna remove 2 leaves because they will be a little bit in the way. Okay, maybe you can see it from this angle. It is in the pot, the roots are spread around. Ideally, this pot had to be a tiny little bit bigger for this plant, but I think if I'm gonna put it in the cabinet of the planter of the queen, it will be rotting because that's too big. Then I'm gonna fill it up with pon. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell, but there's also a water side of the pot. I hope I can show it to you without spilling pon everywhere. So this is the product. I put it unfortunately at the indicator, and the indicator does have this really heavy, oh, okay cat, this really heavy print line. Anyway, this is the water side. So over here you can pour in your water, and then the indicator that's now over here is gonna shoot up. I'm gonna replace this plant so I can turn it a quarter or something so the indicator is not on a leaf. Ga je mij helpen? Wat is je nou? Wat kom je doen? Kom je me gewoon even lastig vallen? Hé? Also putting this aside for watering. Wat wil je doen? Hey. Ga je het Okay, I guess she's chilling here. Swooping all the dust over the table. Okay, I have one alocasia to up pot. I've been thinking about putting it in pon, but I don't have a nice self-watering planter yet. I have to 3D print a lot of these planters. So for now, I'm just going to put it in an aeroid mix. It is an aeroid mix with 3 fern fiber, cocoa chunks and perlites. And unfortunately, I do not have any warm casings left, so there's no warm casing in here. This is a huge chunk. What the hell? I have said this before in a different video, but when a plant has very fine or little roots, I really try to make the mix very very not so chunky. Also putting this aside. I hope it's gonna bounce back because my bigger plant of this is gorgeous. Wat is er, Miel? I think she wants a water as well. Do you, baby? Next project is more repotting, and I will get the plants that I want to repot over here. Okay, as you see, I have 3 plants here. I have a Queen Anthurium, my Alocasia Yucatan Princess variegated, and a Begonia Snowcap variegated. This has been for sale on my web shop, but I think prices are dropping like crazy. So I will probably not sell it in a web shop, and that's fine with me because I want to keep it myself. The variegation is beautiful. You can really see the pink on the back side. So what I would like to do is remove the queen from this pot. I will throw it away. I've tried with this plant. It's not growing. I will regrow it again, but this is not my time. Then I will place my Yucatan Princess in this planter, and I will put the Begonia in this planter. So we will start with removing the queen from its pot. There's maybe water in it. Yeah, there is water in the reservoir. But as you can see, I can pull out its stem quite easy, which is usually an indicator for rots. The roots are actually really good. I might regret this decision. Am I gonna try to save this plant? Look, the roots are ginormous compared to the foliage it has. The foliage is just dying and dying and dying, and it's not even pushing out new growth. It has 2 growth points, which one is completely dead. So I am thinking that I could maybe solve this by chopping off its head completely and replant it. The thing is, I just don't really want to. So I'm gonna choose, I'm just gonna throw it out. Don't come at me in the comments, please. I'm gonna throw it out. Okay, that's done. Out of sight, out of mind. We don't think about that anymore. With this planter being empty, I am gonna refill it. After, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a clean because there's old leaves or old roots from the queen in. So I'm gonna rinse this out and then we can move on. As usual, I'm gonna start with a layer of pon. It is approximately, maybe even half of it, because the plant I'm gonna put in is quite small. So I'm gonna start with filling it up with pon for 50%. Then I'm going to remove the plant from its substrate. It is currently rooting in fluval stratum, and Alocasia love that. I just think it's very expensive to fill an entire pot like this. So what I'm going to do is empty its pot in the new pot. And this is also the reason why I wanted to replant this, because there's roots growing out. And that is fine, that's normal, but when they grow like crazy, they might break when I remove the plant eventually from this pot. So to prevent that, I would have either replanted it in the same pot or just size it up. And in this case, I'm sizing up. I will show you the roots. They're looking gorgeous. A lot of healthy looking roots. I'm gonna give this mix a little bit of a shake so it's mixing in with each other. Then plant in the plant. Spread the roots out a tiny little bit so they're not that cluttered. I see. Oh! It is. Oh! It's growing corms already. And I pulled one off by accident. They're so tiny. Oh my gosh, I found another one. And it's working on another one, but that is really, 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 really tiny. Okay, first I'm gonna plant in this. Oh my goodness, my hands are super dirty, but I want to show you the corms. Look at these. And this one is even smaller. What I will do is I will get a little plastic cup and I'm gonna put these in. But first I'm gonna finish the repotting of the begonia. Oh, so cute. Do not forget about the corms. Our next project, the begonia. I am very scared about this, but it's only a plant. I can replace it when it's dying. So it's not that big of a deal. I've just never had a begonia in pot before. But I honestly think it would thrive in pot because it's literally so thirsty. I have to water this plant 3 times as much as the rest of my plants. So I think it will thrive in a self-watering system. I will remove most of the roots from the current substrate. It is planted in a mix of tree fern fiber, cocoa chunks, perlites. I am very scared to break any roots because I do know that these roots are very fragile. They're very, very thin. Just give it a massage. Don't pull anything, just massage. I actually might give this a rinse of water because it's gonna be in a non-soil substrate. I do want most of the soil to be away from the roots. Otherwise, there is a very high chance of root rot. Okay, I've rinsed the roots of the begonia and I've also rinsed out its pot. So I will fill up 1/3 of the pot with pon. I'm also at a wooden stake in the pot because I feel like the new leaves are getting squished by the older ones. So I'm gonna use like a little clip. Oh my god, it's so pretty. I'm gonna water in the plants right now, and I found this hazy houseplant elixir. I think it's from almost 2 years ago when I went to my first plant market and they were there, you know, giving out samples. So I am gonna use this one because I think it's gonna expire otherwise. I have about 1.5 liters of water here, and because I recently replanted or repotted these plants, I will add 1.5 milliliter of hazy houseplant elixir in here. Usually I would also add in the hazy root complex, but I'm too lazy to walk upstairs. So it's only the houseplant elixir right now. 1.5. Give it a little bit of a shake or a mix. And especially in winter, you would like to give your plants not super cold water because they're already more prone to rot, and watering with very cold water when it's coming straight from the tap can actually cause shock, and then your plant can die. For all the plants in pond, I'm just watering over the pond for a little bit, for a tiny bit, and then I'm adding more water to the water reservoir. I am not maxing out the water reservoir because these plants are not very used to pond, and I would like to have a little bit of a transition so they can dry out in between, and then I don't know what I'm trying to say. For the one in aerobic mix, I'm just watering the substrate. I'm gonna let it drain, and then I will use the water that this plant does not take up in another plant its pot. With freshly repotted plants, you have to be kind of aware with the watering. The water can hit the substrate quite hard and it can move your plant around. Okay. And then the begonia. Perfect. Thank you so much for watching part 1 of my chores video. In the next part, we're gonna pot up the corms we got from this plant, and I'm gonna show you what I do with my moss balls that are already existing, and I will make more moss balls or fill up the moss balls of my current plants that I've showed you earlier in this video. I will upload part 2 next week, so I would highly appreciate if you would check that one out as well. And I just wish you a wonderful rest of your day and hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye guys, take care.